Hmm?
With his chair.
Yeah,
How old is he?
8.
You said 103, right?
Yes.
Down in Norfolk?
Yes.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Conservation Commission meeting for June 13th, 2018. I'd like to remind everybody that this meeting is being audio and videotaped in compliance with the state of Massachusetts open meeting laws. We have, waiting for a member to come, so I think what we'll do while we're waiting is take a look at the minutes that we have. We have 3 months meetings, March 14th, April 11th, and May 16th. You all should have had them emailed to you to take a look at. Does anybody have any changes on the March 14th minutes?
I have a question on page 4
Yeah.
of 5, when we're talking about Lawrence Street. And if you start at the top, and about the 2 dyeing agents we use on a regular basis were not included. And then the third line says, stating that the Conservation Commission does not have jurisdiction when groundwater is affected and acknowledging that it all may be benign.
Yeah.
Is that a correct statement?
Yes, we-
Because it does not have jurisdiction. Remember, groundwater
Right,
is Board of Health.
does not have jurisdiction, that should be in there.
So it does not, okay,
Does not.
yeah.
Good eye, kiddo.
That was the only one I,
And the only other thing I will add, that on those minutes, we were advised by the selectmen that they wanted to postpone this for 2, because it is their hearing, so I really don't have the right to put it on hold without jurisdiction. I think I had mentioned that the selectmen at my meeting decided to put it on hold for 2 months until they decided whether they wanted to change the scope of the meeting or not, based on the contamination testing done. So if we could just add that in. Are you all set with everything else?
Is that still
David?
on the Lawrence Street? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, in the same paragraph, actually.
So I'll go back and look at those minutes.
Yes, great, thank you. Yeah. If there are no other amendments, then I will intend motion to approve the minutes from March 14th as amended.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the April 11th minutes. Anybody have any corrections with that? Or do I, that was a short meeting. All right, motion to approve the minutes for April 11th, 2018. So moved. For a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Lastly, we have the minutes for the May 16th meeting. Another short meeting also. For right now. Any comments on those minutes? No. Take a motion to accept those minutes.
So moved.
That would be the minutes of May 16, 2018.
Make a motion to accept the minutes from the May 16, 2018 hearing.
All right, second.
Aye. Me.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that takes care of that. Why don't we, Janet, the 31 Campbell Street request for COC. You've looked at that
Yeah,
property?
I was out there maybe Thursday and with Mr. Awad, and we walked the property, and it was basically good to go before, and I think, I don't even know if they ever got their final paperwork from Board of Health, but his stuff with conservation is good to go, so he's fine. The whole thing, even when I was out there before, I had sent pictures before, but the whole thing stabilized. He had filed with us for
Great,
septic, which
okay.
has been done,
Yep,
so,
okay.
it's super out there.
Okay. Did you prepare that certificate?
Yes, right here in front of me.
All right, so we can have a motion to
It would be issue a full certificate.
accept the certificate of compliance for 31 Campbell Street.
Make a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 31 Campbell Street.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. This way first time. There's the other way.
Don't scratch.
There we go. It is 7:10, I'm gonna go slightly out of order. The Enclave requested a continuance. I think I would like to move this continuance 2 months, because I do not think they'll be ready with the ZBA in 1 month. So why don't we continue the Enclave public hearing until August 8th, 2018 at 7 PM? Motion for that?
Make a motion to continue the Enclave meeting,
Public hearing, yeah.
public hearing, to August 8th, 2018,
At 7 PM?
at 7:10,
7 PM.
7 PM.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All right, I think that we'll get started here since Bruce has not come yet. So we have a request for determination for 112 Myrtle Street. The owners are here? All right. Could you just state your name for the record and let us know what you're looking to do?
Teresa McNeely.
Dennis Schwarber.
What are you folks here for? What are you looking to do?
We're looking to just expand the back laundry room, so it's a small addition.
Yep, so it then will meet the other part of the house, the back of the house. So there's a part that juts out by itself. And so we're just looking to meet it. So it's, I don't know how many feet. I don't know the dimensions, but it's to meet the end of the house.
Do you have a foundation going in under the addition?
We're proposing to do that, yeah.
All right, and where is the equipment gonna be getting back here to do that work?
It would come right through the backyard, from probably the parking area that's across the river.
You want to show us up on your
Oh, sure.
plan?
Yep. Well, it's not gonna, we need the map of the rest of the property. Be coming in. Yep.
Does that, I'm sorry, does that show up on here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Does that show up on here?
There it is.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's an access right in off the driveway here, too.
Okay.
Can come in this way, or from the parking lot down across from River Road down below, and come right in and right through the backfield.
Well,
Does that show up more on that one?
Yeah.
Sorry. I've been digging. I've been digging.
coming through River Road wouldn't be acceptable because you'd be driving right through the no-build zone, the floodplain.
Well,
So that wouldn't be the best. Coming this way, you say?
yeah. Now, are you asking about access for the excavation part of it and pouring concrete?
Yes.
Yeah, that, for
exactly.
pouring concrete, would probably come right off the driveway.
So it'd be
so,
coming,
yeah.
because we need an access point where all the equipment's coming in. This wouldn't be acceptable over here because of the resource
Right. Okay.
area, but.
Yep.
So you're coming up the driveway,
Yeah, because certainly for,
working in back
yeah, there's
there?
a,
There's a tank there too?
The tank, yes, the tank is right off the
Septic
corner.
tank there?
Yep. So we just circumvent that, just go around that. I know exactly where it is.
And that's the way the trucks came in to bore the foundation for the other work we did a long time ago. So through the same entryway.
Okay. So it's this area. Yeah, yeah. Did you, Janet, did you visit the site? You gonna show us that?
Oh, I was just gonna, I don't know if you can reach that.
You want this plan?
Yes.
Hand it over to her. You want that?
To her.
Well, just for you, for the members to look at, let's see which one's colored up, but this is, you know, they've had fines through the years with conservation. And then over here, where they're working, it's within the 100-foot floodplain setback, which is, under the bylaw. I know it's basically probably an area that's already lawn. I know you're just adding into the back of it.
Actually, it's a gravel area right now, right here.
I did make it over, forgive me, I was out for a little bit with car issues, so.
Yeah. It's kind of a utility area, this opening right there.
Just maybe if you can even mark up one of the plans that we have for being real clear with where they're going in from, just because, you know, if people are going further back,
Yep.
you're into areas that aren't supposed to be disturbed, you know. and-
Cause you can't go over the tank with a cement truck or a machine, so.
Yep.
You'd have to go, if that stone wall is there, if that is what it is.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna have to go to the rear of the, septic tank. And the issue there is your grades are going down, and I know that the
No, it's
cement,
a slope, yeah.
the cement trucks don't like to.
No,
Right,
I
but
mean,
it's not-
well, it's, for the limited amount of concrete, I mean, we can, you know, I don't know.
This is pretty
The
good.
extra chutes won't reach it,
Yeah.
we can figure something out.
Is there anything wrong with coming up? Is that not doable there? Is that lawn or something?
On which side, yeah, that's a garden area,
Okay.
and then there's fences there, and there's stone walls in the street that you can't, they'd have to be dismantled,
Okay.
more work.
All right, so it looks like you're gonna have a path back in here, so you're right near the 50-foot wetland line setback when you're doing your, bringing your equipment in.
And that's showing you the kind of the stone walls.
Mm-hmm.
Is the grading pretty much staying the same?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we're not proposing any grade alterations. And here's,
Yep.
this shows, if you don't have a copy, this shows the proposed addition.
Yeah, right,
Right
I
here
have
in the
that.
back.
You got that,
You
yeah.
do have it, okay. And to comply with, to be within the property lines, to comply with the 25-foot setback, we've actually had to move the back wall in a little bit, so it doesn't really end up square with the building.
Yeah,
So it's actually smaller.
okay.
So that would be between 6.5 and 7, no greater, 6 feet 9 inches, I think, coming out.
Are you saying then we take in the bathroom wall? Is that what you're saying?
You know, I'm saying we're not building out, we're not proposing to build out as far as that wall.
Is your existing house
Our
not within the 25-foot side setback?
Yeah, well, if we squared off
Right,
this,
yeah.
this corner,
Right.
we're just a teeny bit too close to this property line right here.
Oh,
Oh, to
about a
that back property line?
Yeah, we're about a foot and a half
I understand,
too
okay.
close.
Not the side, the back.
Yeah, the back line. So
Alright.
we wanted to stay within that. Rather than go for the variance and all that stuff.
Comments yet?
Um,
Right here.
always, see what you're doing, you know, it's up close to the house. Depending how they're accessing, I think that's a big point for me, cause I don't want trucks going all the way through all the other areas.
Yeah.
It is a request for determination, however, it's the same property, it's separate from this, but, you know, you go back through the files, and we've had all these filings with you people that never got cleared up, or never got closed, or you never came back and said, look, we did this stuff properly, here's, you know, we need our final paperwork, so it's just, there's been enforcement orders and everything on this property, so there's a lot of wonderful resources out there. It's just making sure, I'll hit it again, I know I will. You can access back there, cause you're hardly in any of the jurisdiction area, but just to make sure everybody knows ahead of time how you're gonna get there, so, you know, they're not coming all the way
Well,
through
if-
inland
if it-
restricted
if
wetlands
it's
and everything else.
stipulated that we absolutely have to come in off the driveway area, it's the shortest route, then we'll do that.
Problem is with a request for determination, if we do not make this a filing of a notice of intent, we have no control over anything you do. And that's what's leading me to believe that this probably, where it's right at the 50-foot no build, you probably should have a notice of intent filing. And that way we could dictate where the access would be. We could put up a limit of disturbance back there so nothing creeps back as you're going downhill into the resource area, and then just have a control over the project. So I think that's which way I'm pretty much leaning, and then you'll have to give us an exact path where the trucks are coming in, and then we'll require a disturbance line back here with hay bales and silt fence, just to make sure any of the debris does not run back into the resource area. Are you with, is that what you're pretty much online with?
Yeah, I'd feel more comfortable with that.
Okay. It'll only be a one quick meeting hearing, but at least that way we can have some controls over what's done there, because the fact
Right.
is that a truck goes in there and, as a person that deals with heavy equipment, somebody goes out of line and you're right near the 50-foot no-build zone, it could create a problem for us in future filings, so I think that, folks have any comments? What do you think, David?
No, that's fine.
Jim?
I agree that, I think it benefits both of us.
All it does is basically give us some supervision over the work being done to make sure it's all done where you say and to make sure the resource is protected, okay?
Right.
And like I said, most of these are simple, it can be wrapped up in one meeting.
Right.
As long as we have all the detail on the plan that we need to show what's what, okay? If you have any questions when you're putting the plan together on where to put the do not disturb line or whatever, you can come into the office and the office folks will help you show that on the plan so we know what's what. Because this will be the plan of record that you bring up, and this will be the one that we check to make sure the work coincides with
Right.
what the plan shows, okay? All right.
But it's also making sure that there's enough room for the workers to get in and do what you need to do, but also, because somebody coming in doesn't know about, per se, wetlands or streams or inland restricted wetlands, so if it's nice and clear on that plan, here's where you're going in, this is what you're doing, I think it's more comfortable, hopefully, for all of us, you know?
So is this gonna require the larger filing or the smaller? Oh, larger.
Yeah, this was the smaller.
What does that
This
entail?
is the smaller filing here.
So
Right,
I'm
for
not
rec-
clear what the larger filing means.
You'll have to file a notice of intent, which is a separate form, and we notify abutters in that form. So if anybody have any reasons where they are against what you're doing, then they will show up at the public hearing. And we post a public hearing in the paper, how many days before the hearing?
10 days.
10 days before the hearing, that's all. It makes it more of a formal process.
You've done them before.
Yeah, we've been there.
How long have you owned that property?
Almost 20 years.
Oh, is that right? No, it's a nice piece of property.
Did you buy this off the Langs?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were in here trying to remove a lot of the farm trash from the back. And so we've been through the process of trying to clear it out, renovate the property.
Are you gonna GC this little addition here, or is someone gonna do it for you?
No, we've got a contractor, Ken Whalen from
All
Millis.
right, all right. So when he has the plan, he'll know what can and cannot be done, so as the different contractors come in, he knows he'll be responsible to making sure it's being done in the proper location, that's the main thing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it just gives us some control, of that we have none. You could go back and drive the cement trucks back there, and we would have no rights.
Right.
Okay,
Got it.
all right. So we can, if you get that information back to us 10 days before our next meeting, you can be on the next meeting and have the hearing right then.
We got a form for
The
them,
next meeting
the
is,
form.
July 11th.
July 11th. So again, if you have any questions on the process or the form or help
Yeah.
you fill it out, go to the office and they'll help you out, okay? Okay, so you know the routine?
No, and actually, this time I have the name of a guy, they will do it.
Yeah.
So I don't have time.
Wow.
So, great, well,
Well,
thank
hopefully
you.
we'll see you back next meeting
Yeah,
then,
thank
somewhat
you.
anyway,
Thank
okay?
you.
very
Let me
much.
check.
So,
You give them their check back?
She's got a,
right. So Janet, which,
yeah,
this
oh,
is-
do you have a form?
I do not have a form.
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
folks.
night.
Good night.
So this will be a. Yes, we-
Yeah.
Do
To
we have
close
to
the
meeting? It's not a public hearing, it's just a notice of
Yeah, they can vote to issue, yeah.
So we can just.
Can you just hang on while I go and peek at the
We sure
computer?
can, sure can. How'd you make out with your dog leash signs?
Oh. She's got one.
I couldn't print it out.
That's okay.
Did you find someone to make them for you?
No, there's another issue. We have no money,
Who's we?
the commission.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. We run cheap.
Well, no, they took it all back. It'd be look something like that. And I'll look at the record of where we got our.
That's actually
sign.
pretty nice.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty complete.
Gonna be wood or metal with stickers on it?
Metal,
Right here.
It'll last longer.
yeah.
Does the prison still make those?
I believe they do, so I'll go over there and see what they'll do. And I'll figure out how many we really need.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want it on the list of 15 properties or whatever we own,
No.
but we could do them, maybe get 3 or 4 of them and have them. And
At the entrances?
at the entrances, like of Lind,
Right.
this one at Comey, Campbell, yeah.
Right. Why don't you work out between you and Janet which
Which ones?
conservation areas that we want to post these in, so we can decide where to make them up and where to get the funding from,
Okay.
okay?
And
That
coming
looks nice,
July
though.
1, we should have some money, right?
Yes, what do they allow us, 5,000 or so for the year? Right.
Or we could go to CPC for money.
Go to CPC, right. Who is our CPC representative? You are,
I
right?
am at the moment.
It expires at the end of June.
Right, would you like to do it for another year since you?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be reappointed by the selectmen to this commission again
Is your term
Up.
when?
this month, and they're not
Right here,
doing it until the 26th of June.
right, that's still, we can still,
Yeah, I'll continue on.
I can't hear her.
so we'll have a motion to
Thank you for moving it.
reappoint David Turry to the representative to the Community Preservation Commission.
Want me to make a motion?
Just, you can just so move it.
So moved.
Second,
A second?
all in favor?
Aye.
So
Aye.
David will be on there for another year. In our filings, you see we have some paperwork. The Lawrence Street orders of condition were appealed by a group of the neighbors, so that'll be going to the DEP to have them review it and give us their determination. Right here. We have a letter here for a volunteer. Did you folks read the letter from the young lady that grew up here and is moving back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Seemed like she had a good background for something like this.
environmental lawyer, or a lawyer with environmental
An
concerns.
environmental concerns who became a lawyer.
Yeah, went to Vermont.
Is that young lady that applied for a position, is she coming back in the near future or what? Do you know?
The one who sent the letter?
Yes.
I think in July.
She said like July, yeah.
Contact her.
Would you contact her and see if she would like to come into one of our meetings and talk with us, okay?
Yep.
Oh, we
Did
got
you
her
pick
letter,
out
would like to
anything yet
speak to
for
her?
voting?
Sure.
Great.
Did you pick out for which one to vote?
For,
And there's nothing in there?
Myrtle?
Yes. Did you?
I didn't, that's between the chair and the clerk. Interim clerk.
Just double checking. Tapping at me.
It's interesting, a lot of these.
I think we will look for a positive determination as a number 4, which reads that the work described in the document is within the buffer zone or alternate area subject to protection under the Act. Therefore, said work requires the filing of a notice of intent. Yes. This one here seems too general.
I would just go with maybe number 1. Because it's not real clear, they're not real clear on their plan where they're accessing or whatever.
Yeah, this is just, yeah, either one is fine. You wanna do one?
The work described is within area. Oh, yeah, you can go with number 3.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we need a motion to vote positive determination for that reason number 3 for
112 Myrtle.
112 Myrtle Street.
I make a motion regarding 112 Myrtle Street for determination that it's a positive, number 3.
Just read number 3.
The work described on reference plans and documents is within an area subject to protection under the Act and will remove, fill, dredge, or alter that area. Therefore, said work requires the filing of a notice of intent.
Do I have a second on that?
I second it, Jim.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We have a volunteer opportunities update. Is that from you, David?
Yes. Do you have that on the screen? And from my assignment from last month, I went out and visited a couple of the sites, and I've got some pictures. The overall, all the land needs their annual maintenance, and I've got some pictures that I think Amy can put up that'll show, you know, the overgrowth, trees down, limbs, things, just general maintenance. And so I came up with that statement to put on the website so that we could, and then we can advertise it in the papers, et cetera. And there's my community service performed by my grandson and dog. But like that sign, we could get that re-sanded and oiled and stuff like that. And the Lions were gonna do that a couple years ago, and then they stepped back for whatever reason. So, you know, we can contact them along with the Boy Scouts, et cetera, directly. And then Janet and I can get together and figure out.
Have we meet many people call recently looking for volunteer work for projects or?
Usually the Boy Scouts, and then
for-
agricultural schools usually do projects like this. My son went to Norfolk Aggie,
right?
and they did a lot of off-site work like this.
This is Lynn Farm, and a lot of overgrowth and trees down. Now, I did notice that somebody did cut one of the trees, and it's a fresh cut, so I might assume, but I don't assume, that it's Sean McNear, who had said that he walks that a lot, might have gone in and cut it for the pathway, but there's a lot more that has to be done, and you know, it's kind of the type of thing that things are in general terms.
Yep.
So that, you know, people know that some power equipment might be needed, or they can do it with a rake and the hard way. But definitely we need to get the woods in some kind of better walking conditions.
Are you all set with this list, Janet?
More pictures?
The list is from
No,
our
okay.
website already, or our link from the Conservation Commission.
All right, if I could just, and, right, because that's the original that's been there forever.
Yeah.
I'm just,
We can clean it up.
well, I just wanna be careful, cause this is conservation managed properties with the asterisk, and I don't know what they mean by that. There's parcels in town that are, I call them care and feeding, that they're under jurisdiction that's listed as being under conservation. A lot of them are just town parcels. I know off the top of my head, Comey's Pond, that's town, that's not per se conservation. So, City Mills Pond is town, it's not conservation, so I just, Kathy and assessors and I have been working out what's exactly per se Conservation Commission property versus town.
Well, don't forget, the Conservation Commission cannot own property. We simply manage it. All the
No,
property
I always
is
call
all
it care and
property-
feeding of, but
Right,
I
no,
don't,
it's not, yeah.
I don't wanna be crossing or stepping on any toes.
So it'd be
with-
the DPW we could talk to about what they plan, what their plans are.
Right.
Do they normally hire kids for the summer for these type of projects? Part-time employees for?
Not for our properties, it doesn't seem.
Normally, we wait for folks to come up with a project or something that wanna know, or the Lions or somebody that wants to contribute, so we give them a list of things that would be helpful in order of biggest need, I think.
Yeah, and so, you know, we can take a look and see
Right.
who's,
I think if we get a person that wants to volunteer, we could look through all the areas and then decide, because most of them will take any spot, so they can decide which one they'd like to do, and based on what they're able to do, there may be some projects that a younger person, if it needed, equipment, wouldn't be able to do it, so there would be something more general, like cleaning of the pathways or something, you know, so basically, we can make it project specific, based
Yeah.
on our, who comes in and what they're able to do or what they'd like to do. But having everything here all inclusive is a good idea, just in case someone's able to come in, a bigger group that's able to do a bigger project.
what I was
Right.
surprised at is the Boy Scouts didn't really clean out their area. And it's a mess. There's a lot of trees down
Really?
within it, and I would have thought, being a well, I guess they might have been the Cub Scouts, not the Boy Scouts, but you always had a handsaw, and you were supposed to be cutting up
Right.
wood for fires and this and that. But yeah, there's a lot of dead trees that need to be cut up there, and so, you know, I think, you know, we can contact the Lions and the Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts directly. And as you say, the Aggie School, and, you know, put some articles in the paper and whatever, Facebook,
This is good.
social media.
It's a help, Dave. All we need now is some folks to come in and
Do it.
do it for us. This is the request. You can sign that with Jim and give that package back to Janet.
Okay.
Preparation.
Which, just clap it all together.
Anybody else Do you have anything else for us, Janet?
Because I'm sorry, I was out of the room, but you mentioned about the departmental action form for Lawrence Street Bridge?
Yeah.
Okay, super.
I think we've covered everything in the
Oh,
agenda.
all right, and so, I'm sorry, who's CPC?
Dave was reelected to
Okay,
do that for one more year.
clerk,
We haven't voted yet.
We'll,
that's just for somebody per se to sign the minutes.
yeah, right. Right, why don't we have Jim take that role on as our newest member?
As what?
The clerk of the commission, so you can sign the minutes.
Okay,
That's your main job.
okay, not
Well-
making the minutes.
No, no,
We-
no.
We all
Okay.
approved, right, we all approved.
Oh, Amy's word.
You just formally signed.
Oh, do you
right?
have
Okay.
those minutes?
Do what Amy says.
Right.
Okay.
Just sign your-
Oh, there's some changes, okay, sorry.
All right, so we have a motion to,
Oh, I'm sorry, last thing, did Dudley signs, did they talk about
we're
that?
all set.
I missed so much,
I
I wasn't
know.
running that long.
How long
Okay,
are you gone?
I think,
Right, now continuing on with my motion to appoint Jim Wilson, the clerk for the commission,
So moved?
for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so you're in office for now, Jim. Janet, anything else for us for tonight?
no,
All right. In that case, motion to adjourn,
Do they have
no, Donna,
audience?
oh, sorry.
do other hearings.
What?
I have a question.
Oh, question, sure. It must be something that's on our agenda though, Donna, as you know.
Did you already discuss Lawrence Street?
There's no discussion, we just noticed that appeal was filed.
Okay.
Now, it's,
Some of us were here to learn about Lawrence Street.
we can't talk about that, that's under appeal, so
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right, motion,
I'm sorry, did I miss any conversation regarding the Enclave?
right, I'm sorry, that was postponed for 2 months now. They're gonna be tied up in the ZBA for at least another 2 months, so we put them back, because they were about finished with this commission. So they've been asking for continuances, so they're on our meeting for August 8th. And if they're done with the ZBA by then we can close out that public hearing.
Okay, great, thank you.
At 7 PM.
Right,
Thanks.
right. Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting of the Conservation Commission.
Second?
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.